say it. It's the perfect DJ controller. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. Today we're taking a look at a controller that's heavily slept on, but in my opinion is one of the best, if not the best, DJ controller out on the market today. We're taking a look at Pioneer DJ's DDJ-SR2, the perfect two-channel controller for a professional or a beginner mobile DJ. Coming in at 700 bucks, this is by no means a toy. Let's take a closer look at what this guy has to offer. So here it is, Pioneer DJ's DDJ-SR2. In my opinion, the quintessential DJ controller for pretty much 90% of the audience watching this video. Everything that you'll ever need to DJ is here. 8 performance pads, 2 jog wheels, a 2-channel mixer with an optional line and phono level inputs. Out of the box with this controller, you're gonna get 3 things: power cable, power brick, and a USB cable. This is one of the things that does bother me with Pioneer. Many of us have the newer MacBook Pros and this still uses USB Type A. I really wish that they would start including USB-Cs. I do have a USB-C here in my house, so we're going to be skipping this. We do, however, need to power this controller. This is not a bus-powered controller like its little brother, the SB3. One of my favorite parts about this controller, it's its inputs and outputs. It's very rare to find a controller at this price points that offer all these inputs and outputs. You have a Booth quarter-inch inputs, you have 2 master outs, RCA, especially if you're a mobile DJ, RCA crucial for your videographer, and then you have XLR outs, a huge step from something like the DDJ-SB3 that only offers RCA outs. RCAs are not meant to be run very long distances, so having XLR is crucial. Love the fact that you can go right from this controller into your speakers. Additionally, you also have line and phono level inputs. I love this. This here allows you to plug in things like turntables or CDJs, which allows your mixer to grow with you. When you feel like you've outgrown these jog wheels here, you can attach something like a CDJ or some turntables if you really want to up your DJ game. Now, a bit of a bummer on the last one is our mic input. I would have loved to have seen an XLR input for the microphone, but unfortunately, we only get a 1/4-inch unbalanced input for our microphones. Lastly, we have our DC and USB in cables. On the DJ side of our controller, we have our mic level control as well as our headphone control. I love the fact that they moved the mic level to the DJ side versus having it on the back like the SB3. Let's take a look at the front of the controller and see what we got going on. Starting at the top left, we have our effects section. If you're coming from something like the DDJ-SB3, you're gonna love this because with this controller, you do have individual wet-dry knobs allowing you to control the intensity of your effects for each bank. You have 3 banks in total for each of your effects, so you can load them up on Serato. Keep in mind that these are software-based effects. Now, I'm personally not a fan of software-based effects because a lot of them aren't post-fader. These are Serato-based effects. Keep that in mind. They're not effects that are built into the controller. Serato effects aren't too bad, and this controller does allow you to do post-fader, but they're not very good. I'm not gonna lie. They'll get the job done, but they're not as good as dedicated effects built in to the actual controller. You have your deck assign buttons. You can assign it to decks 1, decks 2. Additionally, with the shift button, you can assign it to decks 3 and 4, so you can access all 4 decks right from the top of this controller. This controller also adds beat control, allowing you to control the length of your effect. I typically always have it set to 1. You'll also notice that this controller has built-in LED indicators letting you know when your deck is hot. What do I mean by that? If I bring my channel fader up for deck number 1, you're going to notice that the LED ring here turns red, letting us know that we do have sound coming through. All we have to do is press play and we can mess with our effects. I have a low pass filter here on my Serato effects. Let's go ahead and try it out. So now Not too bad there. Additionally, you do have a low pass and high pass filter effects built in. And if I demonstrate those, you're going to notice that these effects are a little bit better because these are actually built into the controller rather than them being based out of a software. So let's go ahead and try the built-in effect and see how it compares to the Serato one. As you guys can see already, the effect is way stronger. As I previously mentioned, these are post fader, or at least somewhat post fader. Not the best post fader, but on bank 3, I have a reverb loaded. Let's go ahead and trigger this all the way up. Press play, and we'll cut our channel and see if the effect continues on. That's essentially what post fader means. Post fader means that when you cut the volume of the channel, the effect will continue on, allowing you to execute a more precise, smooth mix because the effect will continue over the track that you're mixing in. Sometimes when you have software-based effects, as soon as you cut it, the effect cuts as well, which I'm personally not a fan of. So let's go ahead and see how a reverb sounds on this guy. So as you guys can see, it doesn't drag on for very long, but it is post fader. Let's go ahead and demonstrate that one more time. Bring this all the way up to this highest intensity. Play. Right underneath our effects section, we have a needle search, which in my opinion is just a waste, just because any controller that's meant to be used with a computer, you're not going to be using needle search, or at least that's in my opinion. I personally never use needle search because I DJ off of a computer. If you were to have a standalone unit, however, needle search would come in handy because you can plug in a USB and then you can search through the track. This essentially allows you to search through tracks. So if I pull up my Serato, you can see that I can search through my track. However, this is just guessing, when I can more precisely just go ahead and take my mouse and place it where exactly in the song I want to switch to. Additionally, when you have hot cues like you do here, you have 8 hot cues, you're going to be able to maneuver and manipulate the track, advance in the track way better than this needle search function here. It's cool on something like CDJs or standalone units, but here it's just taking up real estate, valuable real estate that could be used for something else. And speaking of real estate, one of the places where I would like that real estate to go to is on better pitch tempo faders. These faders are super small and I would love to see bigger faders. They can still get the job done, but as you guys can see, they're very small. Also, they got a bit of resistance, which I love. They also have a click feature letting you know when you're actually in the middle. The jog wheels are actually pretty nice. I actually quite like them. If I go ahead and load up a sample. Underneath our jog wheels, we have our sync, cue, and play buttons, performance pads, as well as our loop section here. I love this loop section here, and I wish that this was on every controller. As many of you guys know, I have the DDJ-1000. Their looping section is by far one of the biggest downsides of that controller. I wish they had something like this. While you can personally MIDI map the 1000 to have these buttons, it's not the same. I love having these dedicated loop buttons here. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that here. If we go ahead and press loop, as you guys can see, I triggered a 4-beat loop. We're gonna press play. And I can start cutting that down. That brings us to 2 beats. 1 beat. Half beat. Let's take a look at our performance pads. As you guys can see, these are RGB pads, meaning that they do have color built in. If you guys remember on the SB3, they were only one solid color. This is better because it allows you to match your cue points to the screen. Believe it or not, the colors on the hot cues help you out tremendously. Let's go ahead and see how precise they are. As you As you guys can see, these pads are super precise, super fast. They are awesome. You also have the roll function. I don't use this. I also don't use the slicer. I do use my sampler. I use my sampler quite a bit. In the center, you're gonna notice that you have your sampler volume control. I love the fact that this is here. Great feature to have so that if you have something like a siren and you want to bail early, you can just go ahead and cut it off. I'll go ahead and show you my sound effects. I have two impacts. That one and this bomb splash. I love this impact here. I also have a couple of transitions, tranquilizers, and white noise effects. As you guys can see, I can easily cut in and out. Try the other one. I also have some horns. Got this one here. Of course, can't be a sampler without my name.
DJ Bar.
And lastly, of course, the good old siren. If you want to download this, I'll link them down in the description of this video as well as up in the card above. Additionally, I'm going to hook you guys up with a scratch sentence if you guys want to download a scratch sentence like this. You couldn't ask for better performance pads. They're precise, they're accurate, they're great performance pads. They do have secondary functions. For most of you guys watching, the only thing you guys should worry about is the standard hot cue, roll, slicer, and sampler. The rest of the stuff you might not even be able to access unless you upgrade your Serato DJ Pro. Last but not least, let's take a look at the mixer section of our controller. As mentioned, you have 2 channel faders for each deck, and you can swap to decks 3 and 4 to control them with these same channel faders here. They do have a bit of resistance, which I personally like. Most of the higher end controllers all have smooth faders like this. I do like this resistance. I wish there was a way that we can control how resistant our faders were. I really like how these feel. These feel really nice in the hand. Our fader, while it's not the best fader, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't travel as nice. I also think it's a bit heavy and it's a bit clunky. You can still scratch. I'm not a big scratcher, but you can get it done with this fader. Crossfader, in my opinion, could be improved. You have your 3-band EQ. Let's go ahead and see if these are total kill. Let's go ahead and press play. Let's kill our bass. Let's kill our mids. And let's kill our highs. Oh, that is total kill. That's pretty impressive. You have your trim control and your dedicated filter effect. Like I mentioned, this filter effect is way better than the filter effect built into Serato. Let's try the high pass. These filter effects are great, especially when you want to get some crowd interaction going and you want to have the crowd sing along to a song. If you load it up, you just have them sing along and bring it back. You really get that big room feel like you're DJing in front of a massive crowd whenever you do this. I love manipulating these filter effects. They're great. In the center, you have your master control volume, booth monitor control volume, headphone monitoring volume, as well as your sampler volume. At the very top, you have your switches to switch between decks or phono or line, as well as our search function within the controller. To be honest with you, I never ever use this. I always just search on the computer. I love having the dedicated keyboard, and I feel like a mouse is just better. And that's pretty much it as far as the DDJ-SB3 goes. In my opinion, this is one of the best controllers that's out there on the market today. Now listen, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that this is a super budget friendly entry level DJ controller, because this thing is pricey. I'm not going to lie. This thing comes in at $700, and for just $300 more, you could potentially upgrade to something like the DDJ-1000, which is what I personally use. But as I stated at the beginning of this video, this is the quintessential DJ controller because everything that you need is all right here. The fact that this controller controller grows with you makes it so versatile. Now, its actual bigger brother is not the DDJ-1000. That's a controller, it kind of in a different league of its own. The bigger brother to this controller is the SX, and really what you're getting with that is 4 channels. You don't need 4 channels. I know hundreds and hundreds of DJs, and very rarely do I see them using 4 channels. For most DJs out there, 4 channels is a luxury. The 3rd and 4th channels are very rarely used, and when they are used, they're used as auxiliary, as backup channels, which is something that you can do on here. Even if you were to lose your computer, you can still plug in things like a CDJ, an iPod, because you do have both line and phono level inputs. And that phono level is crucial because even if you want to become a turntablist, this is a great starting point because you don't have to go out and invest right away into both turntables and a mixer. You already have the mixer portion of that equation, so all you need to do is go out and buy yourself some turntables. Once you outgrow this fader and you want to move on to something else, then you can go ahead and sell this thing, which I'm sure it's going to sell super easy because I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's the perfect DJ controller for 90% of the people out there. If you don't scratch, if you don't use 2 extra channels, you don't need anything but this. There's really only one thing that I would love for them to add to this controller, and that's a dedicated effects section. I'm not a fan of the software-based effects. As you guys saw, they're not very good. They'll get the job done, but they're still not very good. I've been a critic of small DJ controllers in the past just because they do look toyish. But even or not, I talk to a lot of DJ friends, and a lot of them still bring out CDJs, turntables, not because they're convenient, but because they want to give that facade that, wow, look at all that stuff that he's messing with. When you have something like this, you're not going to get that wow factor when people look at your setup because it's so small, it's so compact. But you can achieve the same mixes that you can on CDJs, on turntables, that you can on this. It's not about the controller, it's about the DJ. It's all about what you can do with this thing. And this thing gives you everything that you need to succeed in your DJ career. Don't let the size fool you. This is a pro DJ controller. So is it worth it? That's a decision for you to decide. Bros, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think of the DDJ-SR2. I love this thing. I think it's a great little controller. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if you have this thing. Let me know if you've had any problems with it. Let me know what you like or what you don't like about it. And let me know if this is a controller that you've had your eye on and that I maybe sold you on. Go ahead and go down in the comments below and let me know. Additionally, I will leave purchase links where you can purchase this DDJ-SR2 down in the description of this video. Don't forget that we are doing a giveaway for this lovely Pioneer SB3 DJ controller. Also, let me know if you want me to do a comparison between my DJ controllers. That should be an interesting video. But one of you lucky viewers is going to win this SB3. Yes, we're announcing the winner this weekend, so you don't have much time to enter. And in order for you to win, all you have to do is follow me on Instagram, like this video, be subscribed to this channel, and be sure to have that bell turned on. Bros, thank you so much for watching this video on the DDJ-SR2. You bros stay awesome, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace!